Good morning, everyone. My name is Adam Livingston, and I am the Bitcoin Wizard. Welcome to How to Stop Being Poor, the financial cage fight where your excuses get curb stomped in front of their crying relatives. I am your host, the human alarm clock that screams at your wallet until it either wakes up or flatlines. Look around. You celebrate payday by hurling your check at Walmart clearance bins like rice at a wedding. You treat gas station scratch-offs as an investment strategy, and you gorge on 2-for-1 mozzarella sticks while muttering that health food is expensive. Meanwhile, your 84-month SUV loan is depreciating faster than your attention span during a TED Talk about compound interest. Tonight's game plan is simple. First, we drown every participation trophy you ever earned into the fryer grease that you call dinner. Next, we pressure wash your victim mentality off the pavement with a fire hose labeled Budgeting 101. Finally, we bulldoze the quicksand of DoorDash fees, Klarna payments, and Dollarita hangovers that keep you chained to mediocrity. Side effects of this presentation include profuse sweating, spontaneous credit score upgrades, and the sudden urge to delete the Amazon app before it finishes inhaling your rent money. If at any point you feel shortness of breath, relax. That's just your entitlement suffocating under the weight of reality. So buckle up in the rolling snack drawer that you call a vehicle, grab a notebook that you actually plan to use, and prepare to watch your broke habits roast on a spit until they beg for mercy. By the end, you will either be wealthier or permanently offended. Either outcome lowers the national stupidity index, so that's a win for everyone. Let's get going. All right, lottery lovers, gather round the glowing dumpster fire that you call financial planning. You know that moment when you hand a sweaty, crumpled 20 to a gas station clerk and whisper, "Give me 5 lucky boomers," like it's a secret stock tip from Warren Buffett. That is the precise moment your IQ packs a suitcase and hitchhikes to a better host. Let's do the math your high school counselor avoided. Odds of hitting the jackpot, 1 in several galaxies. Odds of staying broke because you treat cardboard confetti as an investment is precisely 1 to 1. You would get a higher return taping a bill to a Roman candle and filming it for TikTok. Every scratch-off ticket is just a tiny square sermon that screams, "I refuse to learn compound interest." You will spend hours coin-scraping glitter off paper like a raccoon at Mardi Gras, but you will not spend 5 minutes opening a brokerage app that gives you free shares for signing up. Congratulations, you have perfected the poverty speedrun. And the cultural riddle is adorable. You peel the ticket, you lose, and then you shrug and say, "Well, someone's got to win eventually." Yes, someone does, the state treasury, which thanks you for your annual donation to pothole repair that never happens. Meanwhile, your retirement fund is a pile of losing stubs held together by tear stains and nacho cheese. Here's the brutal cure. Next time the urge strikes, visualize your future self at 72, living off a diet of canned ravioli and regret, still scraping tickets under flickering fluorescent lights. If that thought does not make you claw at your own face, enjoy the casino-scented poverty that you have chosen. For everyone else, take the same $20, buy Bitcoin, and let compound interest do the scratching for you. Now extinguish the smoldering hope of instant riches because the house always wins and you are not even in the house. You are taking selfies in the parking lot. Let's move on before somebody pawns their kid's Xbox for another roll of lucky cardboard. Let's talk about the spiritual disease called 4 easy payments. You people will slice a $10 purchase into micro loans like you're running a hedge fund arbitrage on a family-sized bag of Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Klarna, Afterpay, Affirm, all those apps are basically payday lenders dressed in pastel logos. And you swipe on them like they're Tinder matches because self-control ghosted you in 2009. Picture this, you're at the checkout, basket full of neon shoes, pineapple-scented candles, and a novelty waffle maker shaped like Baby Yoda. Total comes to $89. Now, your brain, powered by expired Mountain Dew, whispers, break it into 4 payments. You deserve it. Deserve what exactly? 4 separate calendar reminders of your own impulsive stupidity? And here is the cruel punchline. While you are flexing on Instagram with a staged photo of frosted coffee and a caption about self-care, that interest clock is ticking like a bomb strapped to your debit card. You pay 15% more for the privilege of pretending that you have money, which is peak cosplay for broke adults. Let's bring Aunt Math to the barbecue. A couple of these microloans every month and you are flushing $2,000 a year down the drain in fees and price markup, enough cash to buy a decent laptop that could teach you an actual marketable skill. Instead, you keep tiny timing your way to insolvency, building a Voltron of useless junk that will end up in a garage sale next summer for 25 cents a piece. Ready for the prescription? Delete the apps, cut the card. If you can't pay for it in full today, you can't afford it. Your self-worth should not arrive in monthly installments because every time you click pay later, future you is screaming in the distance like a divorced dad watching his ex drive away in the financed minivan. So congratulate yourselves, you have mastered the art of renting happiness at subprime rates. Now breathe in the stench of your own short-term thinking. And let's move on before someone decides to finance a Funko Pop collection at 30% APR. Time to pry the dopamine dispenser from your greasy little mitts. You treat the annual iPhone reveal like a religious pilgrimage, camping outside the mall at 3 a.m. so you can finance another rectangle that does the exact same tricks as the last rectangle. Meanwhile, the most recent software update installed in your skull was Windows Vista. Let's audit the circus, okay? You slap a $1,000 slab of glass on a credit card that already wheezes louder than your stepdad in a lazy boy, just so that you can post blurry photos of your reheated Olive Garden leftovers. Your screen time report clocks 6 hours per day, mostly doom-scrolling memes created by teenagers with more equity in their Robinhood accounts than you have in your 5-year-old Roth IRA. Here's the math that you keep dodging. That shiny phone loses half of its value the moment the plastic peel comes off. Compound ignorance stays at full price forever. You could spend the same cash on an online course that teaches Python, real estate analysis, or literally anything besides how to angle a selfie so your double chin looks like a single. Instead, you embrace that upgrade cycle like a hamster on a wheel powered by FOMO. Let me paint the retirement portrait. 65, sitting in a folding chair outside of a pawn shop, hawking 11 generations of smartphones that each still owe interest, wondering why Social Security won't cover your Monster Energy habit. The only award that you'll win is a Guinness certificate for most notifications with 0 assets. Here's a detox prescription. Keep the phone, upgrade the owner. Use the library app instead of Candy Crush. Swap TikTok for Coursera. Replace humble brag Instagram stories with a humble budget spreadsheet. If the next device launch still makes your palms itch, dunk them in icy water, then open an investing account and feed it the money instead. Congratulations, you finally discovered a screen that actually compounds value. The one showing your brokerage balance. Now shut the phone off, resist the urge to take a victory selfie, and let's torch the next poverty ritual before the Apple Store emails you another installment plan. Welcome to the section where I rip the remote control from your Dorito-stained fingers and beat your time management senseless. You brag about being all caught up on 12 different Netflix series, yet the only certificate on your wall is a past due electric bill. Your evening ritual looks like a wildlife documentary on sedentary mammals. Motionless on a couch, mouth breathing, eyes glazed. Thanos snapping half of your potential into dust with every next episode prompt. Let's run the numbers. 1 hour of streaming per night is 365 hours a year. That is 9 full-time work weeks you sacrificed at the altar of binge culture, earning a grand total of $0 and a permanent imprint of your backside onto the cushions. Meanwhile, TikTok's starving artists turn that same time into e-commerce stores, YouTube channels, and coding bootcamp certificates. You collected plot twists, they collected royalty checks. And spare me that I need to unwind defense. Your life is not a nuclear power plant. You are not winding down, you are marinating in brain fog seasoned with sodium-loaded snacks. Your heart rate spikes only when the Wi-Fi drops, and your biggest accomplishment is guessing a spoiler before Twitter ruined it. Here is the cure, and it tastes worse than kale chips. Cancel 2 streaming services, keep 1 as a treat, and invest the savings. Go buy more Bitcoin. Replace 3 episodes a week with 3 lessons on anything that generates invoices rather than memes. If you absolutely must press play, at least do push-ups during the opening credits so your health does not file for bankruptcy alongside your savings account. Because guess what? Nobody gets rich watching other people pretend to be rich on television. Turn off the pixelated fantasy, step into the fluorescent nightmare of reality, and start writing your own script, one where the season finale involves compound interest and passive income instead of a cliffhanger about dragons. Now toss the remote, wipe the powdered cheese evidence off your shirt, and march toward the next poverty ritual so I can set that on fire too. Roll down the window, smell that deep-fried despair, and witness the culinary crime scene that is your daily drive-through pilgrimage. You sit idling in a 12-car line, engine coughing CO2 into the ozone like a Marlboro addict, just to trade 12 post-tax dollars for a paper sack of salt, sugar, and future medical debt. Bravo, you have perfected the art of converting hard-earned cash into saturated fat at highway speeds. Let us break the Happy Meal illusion, okay? 1 frappuccino and a combo every workday is $4,000 a year, enough to almost max out a Roth IRA. But instead, you shove it down your throat, then Instagram the grease stains with the caption about self-care. The real plot twist comes later when your cardiologist hands you an invoice that looks like a student loan for a degree that you never finished. Fast food marketing says I'm loving it, your pancreas calls it chemical warfare. Every extra value meal is an entry ticket to the insulin theme park where the rides are slow, the lines are long, and the souvenir is neuropathy. Yet you claim healthy groceries are too pricey while balancing a gallon bucket of soda in your lap like it's the holy grail. Prescription time again. Cook at home 3 nights a week, channel the money into Bitcoin, and watch compound interest silently roast burgers on the grill of capitalism. If you must visit the Golden Arches, at least walk there so the calories don't need a lift back to your waistline. Now crank the seatbelt tighter, feel the circulation cut off, and try to remember the last time a cheeseburger paid your rent. Spoiler, it never will. Slide out of the car, wipe the ketchup shame off of your chin, and follow me to the next poverty ritual we are about to set ablaze. Gather round, spreadsheet phobes. It is time to expose the financial equivalent of flat earth theory. You claim budgets crush creativity while your creativity involves overdrafting the debit card every holiday weekend. That little voice in your head says tracking expenses is too restrictive, yet you willingly submit to 30-year mortgage shackles and an 84-month SUV loan that idles in the driveway like a concrete boat. Let me translate the anti-budget manifesto. I work hard. I deserve my money. That means I cannot remember where my paycheck vanished after 3 White Claws and a stroll through Target. You treat ignorance like bubble wrap. You pop a few numbers here and there and giggle while your savings rate bleeds out on the living room carpet. Reality check. A basic zero-based budget beats the brakes off every get-rich-quick side hustle your cousin hawks on Facebook. 10 minutes with a free app would reveal that your latte habit is secretly paying rent in Manhattan. But no, you would rather juggle surprise expenses like chainsaws wearing blindfolds. Then blame the system when one lands on your foot. Prescription. Open a sheet, list income on the top, subtract necessities, assign every leftover dollar a job before it wanders wanders off to Margaritaville. Treat budgeting like a GPS, not a prison warden. If the numbers make you nauseous, good, that is your wallet begging for discipline. Because the universe does not care about your feelings, only math. Either you tell the money where to go, or it ghost rides straight into Amazon's arms. Choose a side immediately. We have more poverty rituals to incinerate, and I left the flamethrower on preheat. Now we enter the social swamp where ambition goes to drown. Friday night with the same 5 buddies who treat Buffalo Wild Wings like it's a Bilderberg meeting. You sit in a sticky booth, clinking $4 domestic drafts, performing a group therapy ritual called complaining about money while ordering extra ranch. The tab arrives, everyone gasps, someone mutters inflation, and the card roulette loser tips like they're donating organs at market rates. Here is the ugly physics. Surround yourself with chronic whiners and gravity drags you to their altitude. You absorb the broken logic of losers by osmosis. The market is rigged, so why invest? Let's celebrate payday with tequila even though rent is in T-3 days. That chorus is the soundtrack to generational stagnation. Just look at the clock, 3 hours lost to gossip about managers and fantasies of hitting it big on DraftKings. Meanwhile, a stranger across town spent those same 3 hours reading equity research and building a Shopify store. You traded liver cells and bar food for hangovers and overdraft alerts. Prescription, audit your social circle. If the small talk playlist is student loan misery and Powerball strategies, hit the eject button. Find people who split dinner checks fairly, debate asset allocations for fun, and treat compound interest like a competitive sport. And if you cannot upgrade the circle tonight, stay home, cook cheap protein, and watch a free Coursera lecture while your old crew drinks their net worth through a plastic straw. All right, financial flat earthers, time to address the cult that thinks Wall Street is Hogwarts. You stare at a simple index fund chart like it's a NASA blueprint, then retreat to your comfort zone of, might as well keep it in checking, or at least the zeros look pretty. Meanwhile, your payday vanishes quicker than a UFO sighting because savings accounts pay interest measured in calories. Let us decode your greatest hits. Stocks are risky, says the person who gambles rent money on March Madness brackets. I'll invest when I have more cash. Translation, never. Crypto sounds complicated. But you log 60 hours a month trying to breed rare Fortnite skins? You claim that you need a finance PhD before buying a Vanguard fund, yet you trust Kendrick from Reddit who swears Doge will 100x by Wednesday. Spoiler, Kendrick lives in his aunt's basement and uses an Ethernet cable as a belt. Here is the comedy math. The S&P 500 averaged about 10% a year long term. Your savings account averages a participation ribbon. Every decade you delay costs you a small island worth of compounding interest, but sure, keep waiting for a sign from the money fairy. This is your prescription. Open up a Robinhood account. Buy Bitcoin. Let me make it as easy as possible for you. Set it on autopilot. Stop touching buttons. If you want thrills, go ride a roller coaster. Investing should make you feel like watching paint dry while money sneaks into your pockets. When your brain screeches too hard, remind it that people mastered TikTok dance trends. So clicking buy on a boring index fund or Bitcoin is absolutely within your human capability. Drop the rocket science excuses, embrace the boredom that builds wealth, and prepare for our grand finale roast. Face it, if you still blame the universe for an empty wallet while turning paychecks into lottery dust, neon sneakers on installment plans, and frappuccinos that cost more than your future, the problem is not capitalism, Congress, or cosmic bad luck. It is the lazy carnival in your own skull. Quit worshipping instant gratification. Learn how numbers multiply when you leave them in Bitcoin instead of Applebee's. And stop hosting sympathy brunches with friends who treat overdraft fees like astrological signs. There is Wi-Fi everywhere and libraries are free, so ignorance is now a choice. Keep choosing it, and poverty is the only participation trophy that you will ever lift. Opt out of this poverty game. There are no excuses. Go buy Bitcoin. Thank you for watching. My name is Adam Livingston. I am the Bitcoin Wizard. If you enjoyed this content, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and help me spread the orange gospel of the orange pill to the masses. Have a terrific day. Class dismissed.